Jamison with the face-off win. Giving up at the blue line. Then passes over to Jamison, the half wall, off out of the zone to Byron. Byron dumps it in. Lafayette's able to bring it out of the zone. Shot up over the net.
Bailey, be ready.
Bailey's able to keep it in. Shot just a little wide. That shot was deflected in front of the net. So they stip, no icing. Good kick save by Nicholas. Shot off the side of the net by Lafayette. Ben's able to pass it up. Just out of the zone. Offsides on Lafayette. Tyler into the face-off. Able to take control. Stepped in front of that by Lafayette. Kept in with a skate by Byron. Byron off the top of the post. Byron's able to bring it up to the zone. Giving up at the half wall. Icing on Lafayette. .27 left in the first period. Score 0-0. Brandon face off. Giving up to Lafayette. Intercepted by Owen Schneider. Lafayette knocks it out of the zone, and that'll be an icing on Lafayette. Brandon in for that face off. He will take possession behind the net. Ben passes it up to Tony. Tony brings it into the zone. He's pushed around behind the net. Centered it to Ben. Shot just a little bit wide by Ben. Lafayette takes control behind the net. And shoots it around to Tony. Ben's able to take possession shortly behind the net. Jameson passes it up to Ben. Nice pass. Lafayette's able to bring it out of the zone. Gives it up the blue line to Byron. Offsides on Lafayette. Jameson in for the face-off. Wins that face-off. Giving up in the neutral zone to Lafayette. Shot through the crease. Intercepted in front of the net by Aiden. Jameson's able to take control. Up to the far side half wall. Passes it to the center, intercepted by Lafayette. Crossed out of the zone, and it's been icing on Lafayette. 7:59 left in the first. Score still 0-0. Offsides on the Tigers. Be Tyler, Eli, and Bailey. Gavin and Byron on D. Face off one by Tyler. Byron into the zone with the puck. Up to the center, missed shot by Tyler. Near side half wall. Puck's kept in by Gavin. And out. Lafayette turns it over in the neutral zone. This pass by the Tigers there. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Byron's able to take possession. Lafayette's able to keep it in the zone there. Kick save by Nicholas. Tigers coming away with it. Byron into the offensive zone. Up to the half wall behind the net. Pass in front. Intercepted by Lafayette. Back to Tony at the blue line. Shot by Tony's deflected. Tony's able to take possession again, bring it into the zone. Two Tigers collide back to the blue line. Tigers bring it back in. Toss it back out again by Lafayette. Owen Spiller over to Ben, up to Owen Snyder. Intercepted at the neutral zone by Lafayette. Maybe a penalty on the Tigers, Tony. Maybe a cross check to the back. Delayed penalty for the Lafayette Locomotives. Their goalie comes off. It's going to be a 6-on-5 for this penalty's called. Tigers take possession. Going to be a 2-minute penalty on Tony for cross check. .553 left in the first. Score still 0-0. Lafayette on the power play for 2 minutes. The Owen Snyder, Byron, Gavin, and Brandon Whitaker. Game seats isn't up, so we can't tell what the penalty is. We got 2 in the box. Looks like they may have called a major on that penalty. Like behind the net. Lafayette maintains possession. Bounced in front of the net. Good save by Nicholas. Second save goes onto it. Jamison in for the face-off. Takes face-off out of the zone. Lafayette passes it over. Ben's going to go get possession of that. Lafayette knocks it out of the zone. The blocker saved by Nicholas. Jamison's able to toss it up to Ben Prince. Ben brings it into the zone. Pass and shoot, score! Short-handed goal with 5 minutes left in the first. To be Tyler, Aiden, Owen, and Ben. Pass through the crease, over to the far side. Tyler's able to take possession. Bring it around to a couple Lafayette players. Aiden takes possession. The offside on Tyler. Brandon knocks it into the zone, giving up to Lafayette. Right up to Brandon, up the red line. He's checking to the boards. He's able to get back up, keep it in the zone. Pushed into the net by an Lafayette player. Lafayette covers it up. Brandon, Ben, and the 2 Owens out on the ice. Corey Snyder passes it up to Brandon. Shot over to the center, over to Ben. Ben passes it back to Owen Snyder. Pokes it by Lafayette out of the zone. Not enough for icing though. Owen Spiller back behind the net, passes it to Ben. Brooks. Giving up to Lafayette. Taken away by Brandon. Back to Ben. Power plays over. We're back in the 5-on-5. Offsides on Lafayette. 3:33 left in the first. Jamison, Aiden, Byron. Aiden with the puck. Turned over in the neutral zone. Gavin. Good check by Gavin up against the boards there. Pass up to Aiden. Aiden's able to take possession. Another shot here. Leaves check there. Byron brings it up into the zone. He's got Aiden up to the center. Pass it to Aiden. Shot, missed, wide. Back up to Owen. Jamison passes it to Ben. Ben, blocker saved by Lafayette. Right to Gavin at the blue line. Up to Jameson. Blocked by Lafayette player. Aiden's got it up at the half wall. Passes it back to Byron. Turns it over. Lafayette's going to have a breakaway here. Good blocker saved by Nicholas. Came out of the crease to cut that off. Back behind the net. Gavin's got it. Got some time. Passes up to Jameson. Up to Ben. Ben brings it in. Giving it behind the net to Lafayette. Oh, there's an elbow to the head there that the refs missed. Tyler's got the puck, brings it in the zone. Then Brooks is able to knock it into the corner. Tyler stands that player up, that player falls. Kept in. Actually, didn't be called offside for the Tigers. 1:11 left in the first. Picked up by Bailey. Turned over to Lafayette. Up the blue line with Bailey, intercepts it. Blocked shot there. Byron's able to keep it in. Up to Eli. Lafayette knocks it out of the zone. Up into the neutral zone. Tigers get onside. Byron shoots it around. They kick forward. Tyler. Bailey's able to keep it in. Lafayette knocks it around. Tigers knocked out of the zone. Getting up to Lafayette in the neutral zone. That's the end of the first. Randall with the face-off win. Pass over to Ben, missed pass. Given up to the Lafayette, up to the blue line. And they will take possession again through the, going to be an icing on the Tigers. Brandon got that face-off, pass up through the out of the zone. Lafayette was able to bring it in. Then Brooks takes it over. Brandon at the far side half wall, back behind the net. Passes it back to Ben. He gets stood up in the corner. Lafayette's able to take control in the inside corner. Blocked by Owen Snyder in front of the net. Up to Brandon. Brandon brings it in through the neutral zone. Owen Snyder up to Ben. Shot just wide. Brandon back to the center. Toss out of the zone by Lafayette. Firing over to Gavin. Gavin passes up into the zone. Turned over. Hayden was able to poke check out from the Lafayette player. Back around behind the net. Pass back to the center. Lafayette player there. They're able to bring it out of the zone. Up in through their blue line. Shot off the side of the net. Lafayette goal. .4 left for the second. Scores 1-1. Jameson wins that face off. Far side wall up to Aiden. Down behind the net, the Lafayette player. Just past Tyler's reach. Byron able to keep it in. Back behind the net to Aiden. Turned over to the Lafayette player. Gavin's able to keep it in. Passes it up to Jameson. Intercepted by Lafayette player and out of the zone. Byron's able to intercept that in front of the net. Pass it around up to Jameson. Just tipped by Jameson. No icing. Lafayette tosses it out of their zone. This should be enough for an icing. You wave that, icing off also. Tyler intercepts it at the blue line. Lafayette throws it across the ring. Back to another Lafayette player. Gavin's trying to get there. Good poke check. They both go crashing into the boards. And a whistle. Call a penalty on Gavin. Looks like a tripping. 10:43 left in the second. Tigers will be on the penalty kill. Tigers win that face off. Bailey with the face off win. Played with a high stick. Going to come into the Tigers offensive zone. The Bailey, Owen Spiller, Ben Brooks. Bailey wins that face off. Pass over to Eli. Stepped in the zone by Eli. Ben Brooks behind the Tigers net. Yeah. Penalty on Lafayette. Yeah, holding the stick on Lafayette. $10-16 left in the second. Yeah, minute 33 of 4-on-4 hockey. Brandon in with the face-off win. Knocked out of the zone by Lafayette. Be an icing on Lafayette. Brandon, Ben, Byron, and the other Ben. Brandon wins that face-off. Tossed around behind the net. No Tigers are there. Lafayette passes it up. Chips it out of the zone. Byron passes it back to Ben. Oh, Tigers are there. Ben Flink with the puck into the zone. Straight up by Lafayette. Turned over at the blue line. Lafayette's able to bring it in. Skates around Byron off the side of the net. Byron's able to keep possession. Byron's in 2-on-2 coming in the zone with Brandon there. Byron passes. Shoots goal by Byron. $9:22 left in the second period. Byron with the second goal of the game for the Tigers. Scores 2-1 Tigers. A little confusion on the Lafayette bench. Still a 4-on-4 hockey. Looks like they cleared the penalty off the board, so it's going to take a minute for them to figure the right timing out. Still 34 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. Jameson, Owen Snyder, Ben. Owen Spiller on the ice. Jameson with that face-off win. Giving up the blue line. It's out wide by Lafayette. Ben Brooks is able to get it up the blue line, but Lafayette gets it in. Saved by Nicholas. Back behind the net. Around the kickboard to the far side half wall. Lafayette tried to center it. Tigers were able to take possession into the circles. Jameson's able to bring it up. Skates around a couple Lafayette players. Back to Ben. Up to Jameson. Back to Ben at the blue line. Cross Owen Snyder. Shot into the net. Saved by Lafayette. Tigers on the power play for 12 seconds. Jameson with that face-off win. Cross to Gavin. Gavin up to Aiden. Chip. It's the end of the Tigers power play. It's 5-on-5 hockey. Gavin with it on the far half wall. Behind the net over to Jameson. Tigers are able to keep it in. Jameson sticks down a couple. Intercepted in between the circles by Lafayette. Shot wide from the blue line. Byron's able to chip it over a couple Lafayette players. No icing on that one. Tigers get onside, so they turn it over at the blue line. Getting back to the Tigers at the red line. Tucker's got up in some skates there. Gavin throws it into the zone. Lafayette throws it back out of the zone. The Tigers are on a change. Lafayette's able to bring it into the neutral zone. Good post check by Tigers. Tyler just overskates it. Good icing on the Tigers. 6:51 left of the second. Scores 2-1 Tigers. It's like Brandon, Anthony, Owen, the other Owen, and Ben Brooks out on the ice. Tigers win that face off. Lafayette's able to keep him in his own. Brandon brings it out. He's got some speed. Shot just wide. Tony behind the net. Jack centers it. Missed pass there. And score. Tosses it up to Tony. Brandon over to Tony in front of the net there. He gets stood up. Shot off the side of the net. Lafayette takes possession behind the net. Passed up. Anthony gets stood up, still has possession though over to Brandon. This pass. Brandon far side half wall. Lafayette possession on the far side. Gets stood up by a Tiger. Nicholas holds on. Little extracurricular at center ice. Lafayette, a little push and shoving. Looks like we're going to have 4-on-4. It's like Owen Stiller. Five-on-five hockey. Still confusion on the ice with the refs. What's going on here? Looks like the face-off's coming into the neutral zone. Tyler with that face-off win. Face-off win by Lafayette out of the zone. Tyler's able to take it over in the neutral zone. Shot by Tyler, saved by Lafayette. Lafayette wins that face-off. Good poke check by Eli there at the red line. Good save by Nicholas. Jamison, Aiden, the two bends. Byron. Jamison with that face-off win to Byron. Byron knocks it out of the zone. It was into the bench. Jamison again with that face-off win. Again knocks it up to Aiden. Aiden on it from his knees, knocks it out of the zone. Offsides on Lafayette. Face off in the neutral zone, won by the Tigers. Offsides again on Lafayette. 4:27 left in the second period. Jameson wins that face off up to Ben Flink into the zone. Ben Flink passes it across, nobody there. Pass around to the far side half wall. Ben Flink has it over to Byron. Missed pass. Ben Flink right to the 5-hole scores. Right through the 5-hole from Ben Flink. Pass to him by Byron. Scores 3-1 with 4:05 left in the second period. Brandon, Owen Snyder, Tony. Brandon wins that faceoff. And for the net to Owen. Lafayette brings it into the zone. Owen stands that player up in the near side half wall. Block shot in for the net out of the zone. Offsides on Lafayette. Offensive zone face-off. Going to be Brandon, Owen, Tony. Owen and Ben. Brandon wins that face-off. And giving up to Lafayette. Tony's able to take it over in the neutral zone during the game. Good save by the Lafayette goalie, but he couldn't hold on. Then he covers it up. Lafayette wins that face-off. Brings it in, far side half wall, shot. Glove saved by Nicholas. Tigers changing it up with Tyler, Gavin, Bailey, Byron, and Eli. Tyler wins that face-off. Byron knocks it out of the zone. Turned over in the neutral zone. Tyler passes it up right to a Lafayette player. Nick saves it, passes it back to Byron. Byron chips it off the boards. Up to a Lafayette player in the neutral zone. Back to Byron. Indian icing on the Tigers. Tyler wins that face-off, takes it himself out of the zone. And over in the neutral zone, back to Gavin. Gavin takes it around behind the net. Passes up to Bailey. Byron in front of the net. Up to a Lafayette player across, centers it. Gavin's able to stuck in between some penalty on the Tigers. Lafayette All right, minute 56 left in the second period. 3-2 Tigers. Still confusion as to what the penalties are. Byron's in the penalty box, and there's a Lafayette player in the box. Now Jameson's in the box. Still no game seat, so we're not exactly sure what's going on. Jameson is back out of the box. And Eli's in the box. Refs are going to have a conversation with Lafayette. Either way, it appears the Lafayette's going to be on the power play. All right, after all that, Byron and Eli are in the box. Lafayette's got one in the box. We're playing 5-on-5 hockey. 1:56 left in the second. Jameson wins that faceoff. Back to Ben Brooks. Turned over at the red line. Somehow Lafayette was able to keep that in, but turned over. Jameson dumps it into the zone. Passed around by Lafayette behind the net. Nicholas passes off to Ben, turned over to Lafayette. Second half wall. Through the center over to Aiden. Tigers chip it out. Lafayette brings it back in. Saved by Nicholas. It's like Brandon, Tony, Bailey, Anthony. Lafayette with it on the far side half wall, turned it over to Owen Snyder. Owen brings it in. It stood up along the half wall. Lafayette brings it in. Tony's able to keep it in. Digs through a couple of Lafayette players over to Owen Snyder. Shoots. Kick save by Lafayette. And brings us to the end of the second period. Tigers are up 3-2. Start of the third is going to be Brandon, Tony, the two Owens, and Ben.
Go Tigers!
I know that face-off win. Shot off the side of the net by Tony.
Get it in!
Lafayette's able to chip it out of the zone. Not enough for icing though. Tony back behind the net. Passes up the Ben. Not able to get out. Stuck up right at the blue line. Puck comes loose. Turned over. Out of the zone by the Tigers, up to the red line. Be a penalty on the Tigers, although it looked like they were both going for the puck. .53 left in the third. Lafayette on the power play. Tyler Bailey, Gavin, and Ben Klink. Bailey's coming off for Ben Brooks. Tyler wins that face-off. Over to Ben Brooks. Turned over in the corner. Passed around behind the net. Up to the far side blue line. Back to a Lafayette player at the half wall. Turned over. Tyler's able to chip it out of the zone. Ben Klink sends the player up at the far side, comes in. Ben and Tyler. That was done by Lafayette. Getting up for an icing. They waved it off. It'll be Ben Brooks back to Gavin across the kickboard out of the zone. Lafayette back to the cross. Chipped into the zone. Owen Spiller around up to Aiden. Aiden passes up Eli, missed pass. Back into the zone. Bailey throws it around. Gonna have Eli here at the red line. And it's a whistle for some reason. It's like a missed whistle by the ref. With that incidental whistle, will be a face-off here at the neutral zone. Aiden in for the face-off with Bailey, Owen Schneider, Owen Spiller. Lafayette wins that face-off. Aiden takes possession. Chips it into the zone. Round back behind the net. Throws it in front. Intercepted by Lafayette. Far side half wall. Aiden's able to stand that player up. Keep the puck in. Still keep it in. Into that penalty. Tigers are able to kill that power play. They stand up the Lafayette player at the red line. Crosses up to Eli. Eli up to Tony. That's just wide. Gavin stops in the blue line up to Jameson. Jameson dumps it in. He stands the Lafayette player up at the half board. Tigers are able to keep it in for just a second. Lafayette intercepts it behind the net, off the side of the net. And puck's still loose, but whistle's blown. The Brandon Bantoni, Owen Spiller, and Odin Snyder. And Lafayette really scored right off that face-off. Nick was able to cover it up. Brandon back in for the face-off. Wins that one, back to Ben Brooks. Brandon into the zone. He's stood up by Lafayette player. Lafayette's able to take possession. And Brooks able to stood up the blue line. They're able to keep it in across the rink. Lafayette brings it out of the zone up to the neutral zone. Tigers take possession. Offsides on the Tigers. Tyler, Aiden, Ben, Bailey, and Gavin. Lafayette wins that faceoff. Tyler's able to take possession over. Top from Tyler and scores. .9:14 left in the third period. 4-2 Tigers. Tyler with that face-off win. Back to Gavin. Lafayette stops at the blue line, dumps it in. Bailey back behind the net, around the kickboards. Up to Aiden. Aiden's able to keep it in with his hand. Giving up to Lafayette. Aiden's able to shift out of his zone. Tyler's going to race it with the Lafayette player. Lafayette's able to bring it out into the neutral zone. Good save by Nicholas. Tigers win that face-off. Ben Brooks tosses it around the boards. Good save by Nicholas right up the mask. And Spiller around the boards up to the far side blue line. Lafayette's able to keep it in. Tigers are able to knock it out of the zone. Brandon takes it over. He's tripped up at the blue line.
Shoot it!
Brandon back behind the net. He gets stirred up by a Lafayette player. Eli gets stripped up by another Lafayette player there behind the net. Two Lafayette player and the Tigers jawing at each other. They're going to call them both on penalties. Confusion about these penalties. 7:31 left in the third period. It'll be an offensive zone faceoff for the Tigers. Be Brandon, Jameson, Tony, Ben, and Owen. Tigers win that faceoff. It's turned over to the Lafayette.
Get out!
Tony with it. Shoot, score. Good shot from Tony at the top of the circles. 7:13 left in the third period. 5-2 Tigers. Line change. It'll be Tyler Aiden, Bailey, Gavin, and Owen. Tyler wins that faceoff. Able to take possession, take control. Brings it into the zone to Owen Schneider. Giving up to Aiden for the net. Pass to Aiden, missed that shot.
Pick him up! Pick him up! Pick him up!
Lafayette brings him into the zone. They turn it over. Gavin's able to angle that player through the zone. Shot wide by Lafayette, back behind the net, off the side of the net. Tigers were able to take possession. Owen Snyder behind the net. It's stood up by a Lafayette player. Gavin comes in, rushes that player, and they're going to call Gavin on that. It's simply a hockey play, but they're going to call him on roughing.
They play first and they get put in the box.
6:30 left in the third period. Lafayette's going to be on the power play. I guess that's what happens when your player's twice the size of the other player. Referees are going to have a discussion about this, as we have had with all these penalties. Aiden into the face-off. Wins that face-off. Shot off of our Lafayette player up out of the zone. Calling offsides on that one.
No more, they're going to keep him in the ball. What the hell?
More confusion. For the confusion, there's no times for these penalties up on the board, so
That's right.
Both kids are
Tigers win that face-off. Over to Bailey. Passed up into the zone.
Pick that up.
Aiden with the puck. Back behind the net. Centers it. Tyler gets forced by a Lafayette player. Still no times up on the board, so we don't know. It's like a 5-on-4 for the Tigers. Tigers briefly won that face-off. Take over at their blue line.
Keep it in. Good pressure. Good pressure.
Aiden with it back behind the net, centers it to Jameson. Turned over in front of the net. Lafayette's way offsides here. 5:31 left in the third period. We got two players coming out of the box still. It's like Byron and Gavin in our box. Still got a Lafayette player in the box. Still nothing up on the scoreboard, so Brandon wins that face-off. Turned over then to a Lafayette.
Pressure. Pressure.
Tigers dump it in.
Pick him up. Pick him up.
Brandon passes it up to Owen Snyder. Up to Ben Finch. Ben Finch wins again. To a couple Lafayette players. Turned over in front of the net to Lafayette. Tigers are able to keep it in. Ben Finch has it still. Back to Ben Brooks. Shot from the blue line, just wide. Brandon back behind the net.
Keep fighting. Get that pass to
Lafayette
the
will come out of it. Bailey's able to check it over to the corner. Good save by Nicholas. .432 left in the third period. Jameson with that face-off shot up over the net. Back down behind the net. Bailey with to Owen. Lafayette shot through the crease. To the near side corner. Centers it. Tyler intercepts it. Chips it up. He's stripped by a Lafayette player. No call. Looks like that leg came up intentionally, but Tigers take over the neutral zone. Eli brings it in.
Come on, keep it in! What are you doing? Oh! Push it out! Push it out, man!
5-car foul up against the Tigers bench. Then Brooks comes out with it. Passes it over to Jameson. Intercepted by Lafayette. Jameson dumps it into the zone. Kept in by Jameson. Intercepted by Lafayette. Kicked out of the zone. Then Clint brings it in. An icing on Lafayette. 2:32 left in the third period. Brandon, Aiden, Ben, Byron, and Bailey. Brandon wins that face off out of the zone. Turned over to Lafayette in the neutral zone. Aiden takes it over.
Good job, Bailey! Spread out!
Brandon's able to take possession. Tripped up by a Lafayette player. Still no call. Tigers keep it in. Bailey. Puck's stuck somewhere. Stuck in a skate of a Lafayette player. Minute 51 left. Puck was dropped. Half our players weren't even on the ice yet. Quick whistle there. The goalie didn't have control, but refs wait for Lafayette to get set up here before they drop the puck.
Pick him up!
Jameson up to the blue line. Passes it back, intercepted by Lafayette. Back to Ben Brooks. Just skated out of the zone. Intercepted Lafayette. Tigers take possession again. Back up to Lafayette at the blue line. Glove save by Nicholas. 1:02 left. Tigers with it up. Brandon's got it in the corner. Turned over to Lafayette. He takes over in front of the net. Saved by Lafayette. Brandon with face off. Corner to Eli.
Keep moving.
With Aiden in front of the net. Shot, missed. Aiden with it there in front of the net. Again, shot. Bailey from the.
Keep it in front. Here it comes.
Tigers knocked out of zone. That would be the end of the game. Tigers for the win. 5-2. Bunch of Lafayette players are surrounding the Tigers. Eli.
You didn't hear the whistle.